6 months after my wife left me for another man, my phone rang. It was him. The man she'd chosen instead of me. I almost didn't answer. But when I did, he didn't apologize. He didn't brag. He said, "David, there's something you need to know about the money Linda took when she left." I thought I knew exactly what had happened to my marriage. I was wrong. And what he told me next made me realize my wife hadn't been telling either of us the truth. 6 months later, that man called me. I almost didn't answer. When I finally did, he said something I never expected to hear. "David, there's something you need to know about the money." I was standing in my kitchen with a cup of coffee in my hand. I put it down. "What money?" There was a long pause. "The $32,000 Linda took when she left." I stared at the table. "She told you I knew about that?" "She told me you agreed to it." I closed my eyes. I never agreed to anything. There was silence on the line. Then Ryan said, "That's what I was afraid of." That was the moment I realized my divorce wasn't going to be as simple as I'd thought. My name's David. I'm 62. I'd been married to Linda 34 years. We had 2 grown kids and 3 grandkids. I'd spent most of my working life maintaining city vehicles and heavy equipment. Trucks, loaders, snowplows, anything with an engine that had a reason for being difficult. I liked simple problems. You found the bad wire. You replaced the part. You tested it. You moved on. Marriage wasn't like that. For years, Linda and I had what I'd call a normal life. Nothing fancy. We owned our house. We had some savings. We took a trip every couple years. We'd have dinner with the kids, watch football on Sunday, work in the yard when the weather was decent. Looking back, I probably took all of it for granted. Then Linda started changing. At first it was little things. She stayed late at work, started going out more. Her phone seemed to be in her hand all the time. If I asked what was going on, she'd say, "Nothing. I'm just tired." I believed her. Or maybe I just didn't want to look too close. Then one night, she sat across from me at the kitchen table. I knew something was wrong before she said anything. She kept rubbing her thumb against the edge of her coffee mug. Finally, she said, "I don't think I can do this anymore." I looked at her. "Do what?" She looked down. "This marriage." I didn't answer. For a few seconds, the only sound in the room was the refrigerator running. Then she told me about Ryan. She'd been seeing him almost a year. Ryan was divorced, worked in commercial insurance, had met Linda through work. I remember asking her one question. "Do you love him?" She stared at the table. "I think I do." That hurt. But what came next hurt more. She told me she was leaving. Not that she wanted to leave. Not that she was thinking about leaving. She was leaving. Already talked to Ryan about it. Already arranged a place to stay. Apparently, this wasn't an idea. It was a plan. The morning she moved out, I stood in the driveway while she loaded boxes into her car. I wanted to say something that would make her stop. Wanted to tell her we could fix things. That 34 years had to mean something. But I couldn't get the words out. So when she finally closed the trunk, I just said, "Take care of yourself." She looked at me a few seconds. "I will." Then she drove away. I stood there till her car disappeared. 3 days later, I was checking our bank account. $32,000 was gone from our savings. I called Linda. "What happened to the savings?" She was quiet a moment. "That's my share." "Your share?" "We'll sort everything out during the divorce." I looked at the screen on my computer. "Linda, we didn't agree on that." "I know. But I've got expenses." "Like what?" "I need somewhere to live." I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to argue. Another part was just exhausted. I'd lost my wife. I was sleeping in the guest room. My kids were asking what had happened. I didn't have the energy to start another fight over money. So I said, "Fine. We'll let the lawyers deal with it," she said. "Okay." I hung up. At the time, I figured I'd made the practical choice. Maybe I had. But I also think I was in shock. For the next few months, I tried to put my life back together. The house felt too quiet. I still made 2 cups of coffee sometimes. Pour the second one before remembering. Then I'd stand there looking at it. The worst part wasn't the empty bedroom. It was the little things. Nobody asking if I'd be home for dinner. Nobody leaving a towel on the bathroom floor. Nobody complaining I had the thermostat set too low. I started taking Saturday drives. Sometimes I'd stop at a diner. Sometimes I'd drive an hour and turn around. I also found an old fishing boat I'd bought years earlier. Been sitting under a cover in the garage, hadn't touched it in years. So I pulled the cover off. Battery was dead. Wiring needed work. Trailer tires were shot. It was a mess. I liked that. A broken boat made more sense to me than my life did. At least I could see what was wrong with it. By the 5th month, I was sleeping better. Wasn't happy, but wasn't falling apart anymore. Then, one afternoon, my phone rang. I looked at the screen. Ryan. I almost let it go to voicemail. Actually watched it ring a few seconds. Then I answered. "Hello? David?" "Yeah, it's Ryan." "I know." He took a breath. "I know this is probably the last call you wanted." "You got that right." "I understand." There was a pause. Then he said, "I need to tell you something." I leaned back in my chair. "Okay." "It's about the money Linda took." My stomach tightened. "What about it?" "She's been asking me for money." "For what?" "At first, just expenses. Then she started talking about buying a house." I looked around my kitchen, the same kitchen where Linda had told me she wanted to leave, the same kitchen where we'd spent years eating dinner. I said, "Why are you telling me?" I asked her about the $32,000. "And?" "She said you knew about it, said you agreed she could take it." I looked down at my hands. "I never agreed to that." I figured. "Why?" "Because I saw the bank statements." I sat up. "What bank statements?" "The ones she showed me." He explained Linda had been trying to convince him they could afford a house together. They'd started looking at properties. But when they went through their finances, the numbers didn't add up. She'd told Ryan the divorce was basically settled. It wasn't. She'd told him I'd agreed to let her keep the money. I hadn't. Then Ryan said, "There's something else." I waited. "She told me you two had already worked everything out." "Nothing was worked out." "I know that now." I rubbed my forehead. For months, I'd thought Ryan was simply the man who took my wife. Now I was sitting in my kitchen, listening to him explain the woman we'd both trusted had been telling us different versions of the same story. I asked, "Why are you really calling me?" He didn't answer right away. Then he said, "Because I realized she lied to me too." That sentence stuck with me. He sent me copies of the documents that evening. I opened them on my computer. Bank records, notes, an email. Nothing dramatic. No secret fortune. No hidden account with $1 million. Just numbers. And those numbers told a pretty clear story. Linda had moved the money before she left. Told Ryan I knew. Told me we'd sort it out later. She'd apparently been planning her financial exit while I was still trying to understand why my wife wanted to leave. I sat there staring at the screen. Then I got angry. Real angry. For about an hour, I thought about everything I could do. Could send Ryan every message I'd ever gotten from Linda. Could tell my kids exactly what she'd done. Could call Linda and tell her I knew she'd lied to both of us. Could make sure her new relationship fell apart. For a few minutes, I wanted all of it. Wanted her to feel even a fraction of what I'd felt. Then I stopped. I remembered something my attorney had told me during the first divorce meeting. Don't make decisions because you're angry. At the time, I hadn't paid much attention. Now I did. Next morning, I made another appointment. I brought every document Ryan had sent me. Brought the bank records, the divorce paperwork, everything. My attorney looked through the documents careful. Then he leaned back. Did you know she was taking this money? No. Did you agree to it? No. Good. Good. Because now we have something concrete to deal with. I looked at him. What should I do? Don't call her. Why? Because right now the paperwork's more useful than an argument. That made sense. So I stopped talking. I documented everything. Made copies. Kept the emails. Didn't threaten Linda. Didn't contact Ryan again. Didn't tell my kids every detail. I let the divorce process handle the money. When Linda was asked to account for the $32,000, her story changed. Couldn't simply call it her share anymore. Had to be addressed in the settlement. Some of the money got returned. The rest got accounted for as part of the divorce. I didn't get some huge victory. Nobody handed me a check and told me I'd won. Wasn't like that. Was paperwork, meetings, numbers, forms. By then, that's all I wanted. I wanted my finances straight. Wanted my retirement protected. Wanted to stop wondering what else I might find out. The divorce got finalized a few months later. Linda stayed with Ryan. For a while, I wondered how long that'd last. Then I realized I didn't care. That was probably the first real sign I was getting better. My daughter eventually asked me what had happened. We were sitting in her kitchen. She had coffee in front of her. I said, "Your mother and I couldn't make the marriage work." She looked at me. "Was there someone else?" I nodded. "Yes." She was quiet. Then she asked, "Are you okay?" I looked down at my coffee. "Getting there." She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. That was enough. I didn't tell her about every lie. Didn't want my kids carrying the weight of their mother's decisions. After the divorce, I moved into a smaller house. I kept working, finished repairing the fishing boat. Took longer than I expected. First time I got the engine running, I stood there listening to it idle. Wasn't perfect. Sputtered a little. But it ran. My son started coming over on Sundays. My grandkids liked the boat more than I did. One morning, my grandson was sitting on the porch beside me. He looked at the boat in the driveway. "Grandpa, when can we take it out?" "Soon. You said that last week." "I know," he smiled. "You always say soon." I laughed. Fair point. My phone was sitting on the table. There was still an old message from Ryan. I hadn't answered it. I picked up the phone and looked at the screen. For a moment, I thought about deleting it. Then I locked the phone and put it back down. My grandson called from the driveway. "Grandpa." "Yeah?" "Come look." I stood up. He was holding the fishing line, and somehow he'd managed to wrap it around a chair. I walked over. "How'd you do that?" "I don't know." "Well, that's impressive." He laughed. I started untangling the line. The phone stayed on the table. 6 months earlier, I thought Ryan had taken my wife and destroyed the future I'd planned. Then he called me and gave me a chance to get even. For a while, I thought that's what I wanted. Wasn't. Didn't need Linda to regret leaving. Didn't need Ryan to lose. Didn't need their lives to fall apart just so mine could feel better. I needed my own life back. And eventually, I got it. Not the life I had before. A different one. There were still mornings when I missed Linda. Still moments when I wondered how 34 years could disappear so quick. But those moments didn't run my day anymore. The boat was running. My kids were calling. My grandson was waiting in the driveway. And for the first time in a long while, the next thing happening in my life wasn't something somebody else had decided for me. It was mine.